Hi, I'm Shauna, this is Shauna's World. Welcome back to my channel where I make videos about living intentionally. If that sounds like something you might be interested in, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and you can also follow me on Instagram at Shauna's World. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the running poles that I've been using for the last nearly a year, the Leki Ultratrail FX1 Superlites. Now, just as a disclaimer, I did get a press discount on these, but I would have bought them at full price anyway. They were the poles I wanted. They looked like the best poles out there. And I chatted to Leki to explore a gift in exchange for content, and they were happy with that. But everything I say in this video is honest and how I've got on with the poles, but I have to be transparent that there was a discount involved in buying the poles. In all honesty, I am not a massive gear person. I love about running that it is a sport you can do with relatively little gear. The more you get into ultra running, the harder that is, but compared to a lot of hobbies, it is fairly minimal. But just to warn you, because I am not the most gear-oriented person, if you're really into the kind of technical specs and all of the science, I might not be the reviewer for you, but I can provide anecdotal evidence on what it's been like to use them for me, the things that work well, the things that work not so well, as well as some of the technical specs. Then continue watching. So far, my experience of the Leki Ultratrail FX1 Superlites is that they do indeed live up to the hype. Before I got these poles, I actually only had experience of one other set of running poles, and that was the Harrier Helvellyn Z carbon pole. Now, don't get me wrong, they were a decent set of poles and great for a first set of poles getting into trail running and ultra running. And actually, if you're looking at a lower price point, I would really recommend those. But after I lost those, I decided it was time for me to invest in some really good quality kit and get the best that I could afford. And the FX1 Superlites really did feel like an upgrade for me. They're some of the lightest poles out there and definitely the lightest poles I've ever used. And that brought a kind of naturalness and fluidity to my running, because when they're heavier, I felt like I was ending up dragging them behind me when I was running. I'm really bad for not putting my poles away when I'm not running with them on a long run or a race. I just generally use them when I need them and then hold them in my hand when I'm not. And with heavier poles, that can get really annoying and I can feel really off kilter. But actually with these, it doesn't annoy me, doesn't really irritate me. You know, it would be better if I put them away, but actually because I am too lazy or I find the chaos of knowing when I'm going to take them out and put them away too stressful. So I usually keep them out for all or most of when I'm using them. And it's not annoying with these. Now, the hand attachments on these are so much more comfortable than the ordinary loops you might get on most poles. They're kind of more glove style attachment, and not only do I find them comfortable, I feel a lot more secure running with them. The poles are easy to put together and take apart. Actually, the first time I used them, I had to look it up on YouTube because I didn't understand how they work, but as soon as you know how it works, they're really easy to put together. Now, as I mentioned, I usually keep them out for most of the time I'm running with them, but if I did need to put them away, it's really easy just to fold them down and stick them in my belt loops. When I do need to, they're very user-friendly for taking apart and putting back together. One thing that is kind of annoying about these poles is their fixed length, so you can't adjust the length of the pole. So when you buy them, you have to look at the height size chart and figure out what size you need. And I was actually on the cusp of two sizes, so I sized up and got the longer poles, because if your poles are too short, then they're not really going to do anything useful. But if they're a bit too long, it's just a bit annoying. It's not the end of the world. Mine are actually a bit too long. It is a little bit annoying. I'd rather that than too short, but I wonder if maybe if I'd gotten the shorter size, they would be not too short and they would be more comfortable, and the fact that I couldn't try them out because I'd got them online meant that I actually don't know, and I'm perfectly happy running with them. But if you are an in-between size like me, it does make it a little bit more challenging to get the perfect comfort fit. So onto the technical stuff. The poles are made out of carbon and each pole is 129 grams without the glove included. Most poles are 200 grams plus, so they really are quite light. The carbon they used is called carbon HRC, which stands for highest racing carbon. And this is perfect for trail racing because it's so lightweight. but it's also durable and resilient enough that it can handle some of the gnarly places you might be on a trail run, and they're not just going to snap. Reading the reviews on these poles, there are people who say because they are so lightweight, you should just use them for racing because they might be more likely to break than a kind of more resilient pole. For me, I've used them on most of my training runs and all of my races. I've only been using them around a year, and I haven't used them on massively technical terrain, but I haven't had a problem. I haven't had any breakages or issues. So I would say if you can afford to have just a racing pair, maybe that is the way to go, just to be extra careful. But I am in a position where I can't afford to really have more than one of each thing, particularly good quality things I'm running with. So I'm happy to use them for both training and racing, and they've been fine for me. One of the things that stands out most about these Leki poles is the grip and strap system. Leki have their own innovative technology called the Shark system, which, to quote Leki,
offers you an optimum power transfer thanks to a direct connection between the hand and the pole. Rapid clicking in and out are no problem, and a safety release can prevent against injury.
So the grip has been developed especially for trail running, and it offers minimum weight and maximum stability because it has an air channel construction. And the cool thing is you can click in and out of the system with one finger, which makes it so much easier when you're full pelt on the trails. The handle of the poles is made from a material called 1K foam, but actually, I mean, essentially it's just cork. Maybe it's not cork, but it feels like cork, it looks like cork. The tip and basket, which are the little nubbins at the bottom of the pole, are also really lightweight, and they optimize the vibration control, and it means the poles grip really well on any surface. So that's the technical stuff. If you're looking to buy these poles, in the UK, they'll set you back £195 from the Leki store, which is a reasonable amount of money. It's not to be taken lightly, but if you are kind of upgrading your kit and looking for the best stuff you could use for trail running, I really think these are it. I'm hoping my poles last for a long time to come, and I really enjoy running with them. I used them for my first 50 miler last year on the Lakeland 50, and I'll be using them again when I run UTMB Nice later this year, 100k. And I'm still pretty amateur at running. I don't really know what I'm doing, so I feel like the more I use them, the more I'm going to get comfortable using them and get more out of them. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about the poles, or if there's anything you wanted to hear about that I didn't cover. As I said, gear reviews are new to me, and I probably won't be doing loads and loads of them, but when I use something that really does make a difference to my running, I do want to share it. If you found this video useful in any way, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye!